Well, it is Super Bowl Sunday, also a super big day for boys high school basketball coaches and fans and players. Rhett Boyd joins us as we have the brackets in hand. Before we dive into those, Rhett, similar to last week, we've got 7 divisions for basketball now. But unlike the girls, there's only 2 Division I teams in Northwest Ohio. So that means there is no Division I Northwest District. Both Perrysburg and Whitmer are going out east to the Northeast District.
Yeah, and for Perrysburg, they get a home game, which is big. And for Whitmer, they're going to have to travel to Menor, and that is a haul. And this whole Northeast region is a gauntlet. 15 of the 17 teams in the region have a winning record. So for both of those teams, they got their work cut out for them.
So Perrysburg, Cleveland Heights, that game will be Wednesday, February 26th at Perrysburg, because as we said, the Yellow Jackets are the higher seed, the better team on paper. So they do have that home game against Cleveland Heights. St. Ignatius lurking as the 1 seed in the district. And then Whitmer, your defending regional champion, they're going to start off their postseason on the road at Menor. If they get past Menor, that's going to be a tough matchup, assuming Brunswick, the 2 seed, blows past Max Hayes.
Yeah, and if you look at that little comparison, Brunswick, they beat Menor by 20 earlier this year. And when you look at Menor, they averaged 79 points a game. So for Whitmer, the key is for them, like it was last year, can you find your defensive identity before the tournament starts, get some momentum, and then roll into that tournament? Because if they can sit down and guard like they found themselves last year in the tournament, then they can win those first 2 games and move on. If they don't, like they've been suspect, like in the Perrysburg game a couple weeks ago, they could be a quick out for them. So they got to really find themselves defensively. That's what tournament's about.
Yeah.
Is offensive numbers come way down. It's who can sit down and guard, because the scores are going to be lower. It's going to be a 1 or 2 possession ball game most likely, and who can do that will move on.
All right, let's take a look at Division II. We've got 2 districts in Division II. We'll begin with the Central District. St. John's and Findlay will be the first-round matchup. St. Francis, Northview, an interesting matchup. Now, this group is going to match up with the Southwest District down in the Elida Regional.
Yeah, I tell you what, potential St. John, St. Francis, round 3, sign me up. The first 2 were split between the clubs, and they were 2 games that came right down to the very end. That'd be a lot of fun to see if that does materialize.
The other Northwest Division II district will be in Fostoria. Lima Senior, your number 1 seed, no surprise there. They draw weight, and then start Anthony Wayne. I think that's going to be a very good first-round matchup.
They already played once, and it came right down to a Blake Robinson buzzer beater. Blake had 34 in that game. Now, can he duplicate a similar type performance or get help from his teammates in that regard? For start, they shot the ball really well that game from distance. Can they do that as well, or can they be better inside of the arc? That's going to be a very intriguing matchup in round 1.
So Division I, Division II, no sectionals. You begin with the districts. Division III, now we do have sectional play once again. Looking at the Lake District, Central Catholic, your 1 seed, they get the first round bye. They'll get the winner of Fremont Ross Scott, Clay Rogers, Woodward Southview, your other first round matchups. Those first round games set for February 20th.
Yeah, I think Central, they get through. And I think when you look down at the bottom there, a potential Rogers Southview rematch from right before Christmas. Rogers won by 6. Southview, they have guys, they have an inside-outside punch with Ingram and Witcher on the inside. Right now, if you ask me, Rogers, Southview, who do you got? I'm going to give Rogers a slight edge, like that first game was. The grit, the grind, the toughness of Rogers, I think, will prevail.
Another Division III district, Shawnee, your number 1 seed. Interesting the way this bracket kind of shook out. Shawnee took that, said, we don't want the first round bye. They get Bowser, the lowest seed. Bowling Green ends up getting the first round bye. So looking ahead, BG, Shawnee, Defiant, Salina, Wapak, Springfield, your matchups.
And what coaches look at in determining, am I going to take the bye or not, is you are in a routine right now. You're likely playing 2 games a week, and you don't want to have to sit for an extended period of time, not this time of year. So you certainly understand Shawnee, taking that first game. They're going to get through. They are 17-2 right now. They just beat Lima Senior by 14 last weekend. They were really good, and I think you're going to see a matchup with them and Defiance. Those are 2 really good teams. It's really interesting how that one shakes out.
Yeah, a couple of WBL foes who know each other very well. Division IV, the Clay District. Otsego is the number 1 seed here. Clyde will host Rossford in the first round. Maumee will travel to Bryan, an all-purple affair. Port Clinton Vermilion, the other first-round matchup. Bellevue, the 2 seed. Napoleon, the 6 seed. So the Wildcats will get Wauseon when they begin play. Looking at Division V now. Emmanuel Christian, they're a D5 school, and they will open up against Liberty Center on February 18th. Winner of that game will get Tenora, the number 1 seed. Lake Paulding will be your 3-5 matchup of the first round. Swanton, your number 2 seed in this district, which could make for a very interesting rematch come in the semifinals.
Yeah, that was game 1 of the season between Luke Hickey and Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith was Luke Hickey's high school basketball coach, and a great run that they had in, I believe it was 08, or no, excuse me, in 2012, when they got down to the state Final Four. In game 1, Swanton won by 14. Lake had no answer for Charlie Wood. Are they able to make some adjustments to try to neutralize him? We'll see how that materializes.
Division 6, the Old Fort District. This has got a very tack feel to it. Now, Mohawk is the number 1 seed. Mohawk said, we want to play right away. They get Northwood. Northwood is the 9 seed. Woodmore will get the winner of that game. Toledo Christian 4, Ottawa Hills 2, Maumee Valley 3. So TC, O-Hills, and Maumee Valley will have first-round home games.
Yeah, and when you look at potentially what we could get out of that, if we get Ottawa Hills, Maumee Valley round 3, they split with one another. Maumee Valley got their most recent win with a home win, and you got Toledo Christian. If they end up with Ottawa Hills again, let's see, the first 2 matchups overtime. So who would want to see round 3 of that one? Or we get Toledo Christian, Maumee Valley again, two games. They just played their second game this past Friday night. Toledo Christian was able to prevail, but when those 3 teams get together, you got a lot of good basketball in front of you.
And finally, Division 7, the Bryan District. Cardinal Stritch, the 8 seed. They'll open up against Montpelier. Pettisville, the number 1 seed in Division 7. And Rhett, we're looking at the postseason brackets. There's regular season championships to be determined this week. We got the City League tournament, and of course the TAC as well. It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it always does, and that's what makes it so much fun covering basketball in this area this time of year. The sense of urgency starts to ratchet up when you're in a one-and-done format, whether it's in your league tournament or in postseason tournament. So it's going to be a lot of fun to sit back and let's watch it and let it all unfold.
All right, we're looking forward to filling out all these brackets over the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure sooner or later we're just going to throw them away because they're going to be all wrong anyways.